Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to use relational operators like less than and greater than to compare the elements into arrays. First, I'll introduce you to the 6 relational operators in MATLAB, then I'll explain the results of a relational comparison, and finally we'll work a few example problems in MATLAB. Let's get started. Relational operators are used to compare the elements into arrays. MATLAB has 6 relational operators: less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and not equal to. The result of a relational comparison is either a value of logical 1 or 0. A value of logical 1 indicates the relation is true. A value of logical 0 indicates the relation is false. We can use relational operators to compare scalars, vectors, matrices, and multi-dimensional arrays. Alright, let's head over to MATLAB and work a simple example. Now that we're in MATLAB, let's define 2 scalar variables and then use some relational operators to compare them. X is assigned the value of 2, and Y is assigned the value of 3. To determine if X is less than Y, we would enter X, then the relational operator for less than, and then Y. Here, X and Y are the operands, and the relational operator is placed between. When I press enter, MATLAB returns a value of logical 1, which indicates the relation is true. To determine if X is equal to Y, we enter the relational operator for equal to, which is a double equal sign. When I press enter, MATLAB returns a value of 0, which indicates the relation is false. Next, let's take a look at what happens when we compare 2 vectors or matrices. When used to compare arrays, the relational operators perform element by element comparisons. So, the 2 arrays must have compatible sizes. Traditionally, this means the 2 operands are arrays of the same size, or one is a scalar. The result is a logical array indicating the locations where the relation holds. Alright, let's head back to MATLAB and work a few more examples. Before we continue, it would be great if you could click the like and subscribe buttons below. If you'd like to support the channel, leave a super thanks in the comments or click join to become a member. Alright, back to MATLAB. Now that we're back in MATLAB, let's define 2 vector variables. To create a row vector, separate the elements by a comma or a space and enclose them in square brackets. A is assigned the values of 5, 3, and 6, and B is assigned the values of 4, 7, and 6. To determine if the elements in A are greater than or equal to the elements in B, we would enter A, then the relational operator for greater than or equal to, and then B. When I press enter, MATLAB returns a logical array indicating the locations where the relation holds. The relational operators perform element by element comparisons, starting with the first element and proceeding to the last element. The first element in vector A was greater than or equal to the first element in vector B, so MATLAB returned a value of logical 1 or true. The second element in vector A was not greater than or equal to the second element in vector B, so MATLAB returned a value of logical 0 or false. Finally, the third element in vector A was greater than or equal to the third element in vector B, so MATLAB returned a value of logical 1 or true. We can also compare a vector to a scalar. For example, to determine if the elements in B are not equal to 6, we would enter B, then the relational operator for not equal to, and then 6. When I press enter, MATLAB returns a logical array indicating the locations where the relation holds. The first element in vector B was not equal to 6, so MATLAB returned a value of logical 1 or true. Similarly, the second element in vector B was also not equal to 6, so MATLAB returned a value of logical 1 or true. But the third element in vector B was equal to 6, so MATLAB returned a value of logical 0 or false. And that's it. I hope this video provided you with a good introduction to using relational operators to make comparisons. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more, subscribe below. If you would like to support the channel, leave a super thanks in the comments, or click join to become a member. You can find me online and on social media at David Calamus and Spartan Professor.